Attorney Linda Bernard, also known as you can see as Police Commissioner Linda D. Bernard. It's a pleasure joining you today, and I'm glad that you're joining us. As you know, you can join us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all of the above. We're broadcasting live from Wjzz Cool Tv, the coolest station in the world and the nation. My guest today is Mr. Herbert Harth Bellamy. Hey, Harith, I'm sorry. Yeah, Herbert Harith, or Herb Harith Bellamy. He's an exciting gentleman, and you guys are going to enjoy getting to know him better, not to mention the fact that he has tremendous ice. Having said that, Herb, it's good to see you today.
Good to see you. Good to be here.
Thank you. You are a unique entrepreneur. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, before we start, I forgot to tell you, I'm dressed like this today because I just left the 5K walk and run for the Detroit Police Department and the Detroit Medical Center. The DMC and the DPD ran together today. It was fascinating. I mean, it was fabulous. And then afterwards, all the guys, Herb, you would have loved this, did these push-ups. They each did 50 push-ups, 50 leg lifts, all kinds of calisthenics, like jumping jacks and stuff. It was amazing to see the condition of people within our community. After they ran. This was after they ran the 5K. Wow. The chief ran it as well, Chief White. So, I mean, it was really cool. And it was so cool because his security officer, the chief always has to have an officer with him. He was walking around like on a bicycle because he couldn't run it, but he was following the chief to make sure nobody tried to, of course, hurt the chief. He had no weapon, no nothing, no badge, anything. So it was really cool. It was a great day, great morning, and we were very, very successful in raising awareness about the DPD as well as the DMC. And all of our cool cars were there. That's what you would have liked. The breast cancer Challenger. Okay. We have all our Chargers, Challengers, all hooked up. I mean, they're really sharp. And the ones that we forfeit that got, these donuts and stuff that people are doing in the city of Detroit. So when we arrest them for that, then they forfeit the car. The car is forfeited. So we have a whole bunch of them now. And we are, repainting them and stuff and using them within the police department. So we've got the juice, but boom, 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 for real. Not just the ones that we just buy, already painted, but these are new ones that we have painted with stripes and stuff on them, and they're really cool. You would have enjoyed it. Right. I have to get you out there next year to do the run and the walk.
Probably the walk. I don't know about the run.
Yeah. But you see, your looks are deceiving. We're going to get to that in a minute because you're the father of 6 kids, you told me?
Yes.
Yeah, so you are very deceiving. I thought you were a teenager. But yeah, obviously you're a little beyond that right now. But having said that, Herb, you are a entrepreneur.
Yes.
And an extraordinarily creative person. As I understand it, you have written a cartoon, or rather a film. Tell me about the film. What's the name of it? Animal Instincts, the Urban Jungle?
Animal Instincts is a book that was done by S.L. Jackson. Mm-hmm. He's the author, and I came in. They hired me to animate and create the characters.
So tell me, how do you do that?
Create?
Yeah. I mean, I take a book, and then you create on anything. It could be on police. It could be, and you create characters from that book. Is that correct?
Yes.
Come on in, Tish.
Well, I got a description of the characters. I read the book, and then from there, from reading the book, I just let my imagination go and started doing the characters and came out with like all the characters that's in the movie.
We've just been doing, I'm coming right back to that because I want to know about these characters. But we've been joined by Tish. She too is an entrepreneur and a very successful one. But she's a techie. Why don't you tell everybody what you do before we come back to the cartoon? Pardon me. It's not a comic
excuse
book.
my tardiness. I'm working on a couple of films, and we got one that's in production right now. So I'm trying to put out fires. But I wanted to be here with you, mainly because I wanted to support fellow filmmakers and support other people who are working on projects that are working to better our city and better our state, better our country. and so that's the main reason why I'm here. So what I do, who I am a filmmaker. That's who I am. That's who I am now.
Right. And he makes films. He makes cartoons. Mm-hmm. That's a different kind of film.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, there's layers. And the layer that I fit in it's called above the line. I'm above the line. I'm a person that you'll rarely see because I kind of fit at the level where films are being made and financing them and getting everything sold once the movies are made. That's the part where I live right now.
I see. That is wonderful. That's great. And what's the name of your company?
So my company is D44 Productions.
I'm sorry?
D44 Productions. So what that means is D is the fourth letter of the alphabet, the word 4, and the number 4 is 444.
Right.
And 444 means angels looking out over you. So that's my production company name. Just like any other filmmaker, though, we have several. We have several different entities.
Always for different films, you have to create a different entity because that's how you protect yourself legally. Mm-hmm. If you don't create separate entities, then I can sue you for the bottle production, for the refrigerator production. I mean, you don't ever want everything linked. You want everything independent and separate, which makes it a little more paperwork, but in the end, it protects you best. Right. So you were telling me about the cartoon. Made from the book Animal Instincts, The Urban Jungle?
It's an ebook that you can go on Amazon and you can purchase that book. With that book, he brought me the book, and he told me about the characters, gave me a brief description, then I just like I said, started sketching and doodling the characters, and then we came up with the.
What's the principal character? What's the name of the cartoon?
It's called Animal Instincts, The Urban Jungle, animated.
And where can we see this cartoon?
Well, right now it's in festivals. So
it's on what?
It's in film festivals right now.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, you're getting awards for this film, as I understand.
Yes, I can't talk about too much of it, but hold on. He told me I could talk about a little bit. We doing great in the film festivals. We won the circuit in Japan. So
wow.
It's after the circuit is over with, then we'll go back to getting everything and pushing it out as far as distribution.
Well, you want to get some teeth. I mean, and winning the Tokyo Film Festival is very important, and I know you're in other festivals as well around the country. Of course, the one that we hear about the most is the one that's up in Utah. I mean, Utah. It is Utah. Where Robert Redford's Film Festival up there. And of course, there's the New York Film Festival, and I can't think of the one. I'm talking. I can't think of the name of the one.
There's so many film
festivals. There are.
And categories for them.
Yeah, and there's a Black Film Festival.
Right.
There's a Black film, and I have attended. There's a huge one in Miami. There's a big one in L.A. I've been to both of those. I haven't been to the one in New York yet, the Black Film Festival.
So we're going to have one in Detroit.
This isn't a Black Film Festival.
We're going to have one in Detroit.
Your film is not black.
No,
it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
Right.
But you didn't hear me. We're going to have one in Detroit.
All right.
See, what my purpose
Detroit
right now
Black
is to
Film
start.
Festival?
No, it's not. We are going to have the Detroit Film Festival, and we're going to have every film that is made, thought about, worked on in the Detroit area in this film festival. We're going to invite people from everywhere. WJZZ is starting a film arm, and so there's so many people in this area. There's so much talent. Our talent goes, it runs the gamut. So we want people who've gone all over the place and started making a name, started making films. We want them to come back home and show their films here. And so that way it's going to show the quality and the level and the creativity that people have all over this world that actually have roots right here.
Oh, there's no question about it. I tell everyone, I can take you to church on Sunday and I can show you 7 Whitney Houstons in the city of Detroit. It's just, the talent is so deep here. I mean, it's, it's like
deep.
It's all the way down. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And both of you represent that talent. So it's so cool that you're with me here. So your film is in film festivals, and then we'll have a chance to see it, and it's going to be obviously part of what Tish is doing through D4 Productions.
Well, it's different. D44 Productions is mine, but what we are going to do is, working with other parts of like the film commission that I'm a part of, and different things that we are working on. All these films that are being made are going to run through that house. They're going to come through for distribution.
And cartoons is one area with
All
comedy,
levels,
or
yeah.
then it would be
Drama
adventure, and
series
what are these sci-fi kind of movies and so forth, which I can't watch because they scare me. I have to sleep with the light on. I'm not
There's
a
a
horror
demographic
person.
for everything. I know. I
Too
can't.
much. I like drama and I like intensity and I love gangster, all that kind of stuff. But the scary really scares me.
Yeah,
No,
horror.
being scared.
You don't like horror. Yeah,
It's not fun to me to be scared. I don't even ride the roller coaster.
That's one of the things I want to do though. I actually got like a treatment for a horror movie. I'm trying to get my daughter. She big into movies. She sits in the basement at nighttime in the dark.
Wow.
And watches scary movies till she falls asleep. I couldn't do it when I was her age. She's grown now, but she still likes the scary movies.
Oh wow,
like
no. Okay, so then we in addition to the cartoon, and everyone should be on the lookout for the cartoon after it finishes its journey.
Yeah, after its course with
it could be anywhere. It could be on Netflix. It could be on everything. You guys are going to market it and take it everywhere it has to go. You mentioned to me something about Shots.
Shots is the new series that I'm working on. That's the one me and Tish is combining on. And
What's Shots about?
Shots.
I like the name.
It's a urban drama. It's a series about Detroit. It's like about the people of Detroit. Like you get other series they talk about. It's a crime drama, so it's the shoot and all that. But it's also getting in touch with the characters, getting deep with the characters. It's not just that average series that you see on TV where they running a gun and just shooting and doing a bunch of craziness. It has, because Detroit has so many other parts of it, so we get recognized for the violence, but it's other things outside the violence, as far as like the communities, like the Riverwalk, like it's peaceful spots that you go. People be like, you stay in Detroit, like you scared, but no, it's places you can go out and you can enjoy yourself. Detroit got beautiful scenery all around it.
You have great buildings. Art Institute.
And downtown has came up over the years so many renovations, so many things. We got a Google building, and they building an Amazon. So Detroit is coming up like the other cities. Like we're starting to get up there.
And they always say Detroiters never left. It's like we hung in here and we did what we needed to do. Now people are cycling back around and they're coming back. They're coming back. We never left.
This past weekend, Crane's magazine just hosted what they call the expats, people who were very famous, who were from Detroit. They came back for like 30, 45 of them maybe, and they show them all the great stuff about Detroit. It's really a very exciting weekend for them. Most of them are white. 90% of them are white, and many of them, like the man, I can't think of his name right now, who's a co-founder of Google. He's from here. He's the one who funded Walsh College, and so these are billionaires, and they came back. So yeah, it was a very exciting weekend. But I don't think they have an opportunity to touch the new generation of entrepreneurs like yourself, and that's too bad, because I can see how their influence and their revenue could make a big difference in terms of your operation.
And we're gonna
so next year I want to do that. Let's decide that we're gonna focus on that weekend, and you guys register for it. I'll register, and we'll see if we can't get some serious action from people who are quote expats, and in terms of funding for your ventures.
Because it's another generation that's like. It's my generation. It's a generation up under me. Like you said, Detroit is talented. It's a lot of, I meet guys. There's so many musicians.
Oh my God, it's
singers.
unbelievable.
I just ran into, it's a girl named Janae. She's like the next Lauryn Hill.
Oh really?
She could sing. She played acoustic guitar. She's.
Oh wow.
She
you know her too?
I think I've met her. I met her.
So she's talented. She could act, write, sing, and
I'd like to meet her.
She can rap. She can sing. She got
right
her voice though. When you say singers, she got like a strong voice. Like it's
wow. Very distinctive, and that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be something that's just ordinary.
She stands out most definitely.
Okay, what's the main character in Shots that you guys created?
It's a guy named Monk, played by Nick Visions, who's also a radio host.
Okay.
He do broadcasting. He has that radio voice. There's a rapper named Jay Fear. She plays the lead female in the series.
Okay. So you got some serious people. What do you think, Tish, about Black Mafia Family? I haven't seen it yet. It's about. I mean, they didn't shoot it in Detroit. They shot it in Atlanta, but they took some scenes from Detroit, so it looks like Detroit. What do you think about the film? I haven't had a chance. You've seen it, both of you? Well, I want to hear what both of you guys say.
I haven't watched the series yet. However, I was introduced. I don't know him personally, but I was introduced to the executive producer and the writer who's from Detroit, and I remember being connected to him through a family member of mine who grew up with him. And one of the things he said is that he was trying to make the movie here in Detroit, but he was making phone calls and he wasn't getting any answers. And he was like, we move fast out here. You know, he made a career for himself in Hollywood. So he was like, I got to make it in Atlanta. He made pickup shots here in Detroit. And that's going to change. That's going to change very soon. You know, I stepped in and created a film commission just based off those words right there. I made the Detroit Film Commission just so that I can make it so that people can reach out to me. That there are film commissions that existed in the past, and when the incentives left, they, you know, those things dried up. In the Michigan Film
I
Office,
represented some of
Michigan
them,
Digital Office, they have their own arm, but they're not funding it. They politicize this thing, and as a result, they have lost revenue that they don't even know about. And so I want to make it an unpolitical position. I need to, and that's probably not the right word, but it needs to be a non-politicized position that the Film Commission has, so that people can come here and make films and not go through what he went through.
I agree, and it should be easy. Black Mafia Family, the film. What do you think about it? I haven't seen it. So
I like it. And I
I think
understand
it was well done. Both of you are filmmakers. I mean, I look at films differently and music because I've been involved in entertainment for so long. You know, I'm listening for and looking for different things, just like you do. Once you're involved, I'm not a creative person. I'm on the other side.
It's hard to watch a movie now because you pick a movie apart because you know the shots, and then once it's like you like watching. But I think a good movie,
but also the acting.
Right, and most definitely the acting and just the music and how they cut these scenes or whatever. But this is when you know it's a good movie. When you stop like
doing that and you
right, and then you get lost into it.
Yeah,
that's
like
right.
why they use a wide angle there, or they did. That's a good choice. I was like, that was a good shot that they, you know. So we look at the movie from a technical standpoint.
But what did you think about the film?
Okay,
was it a good film or no?
It's starting out good. I like.
I'm not talking about the TV show. I'm talking about the film, the one that's in the movie theater.
Which one is that?
Isn't that it's all over town. They said it was in movie theaters.
No, they probably did a premiere. It probably was a premiere that they did.
They premiered the TV series and
I'm sorry. I thought it was a real movie. I know that it's on TV because I've started recording it. I haven't had a chance to watch it.
The biggest thing is that 50 Cent optioned the rights to this story, and so you know, so what comes with him is money. Okay. So when you have money, you can do productions well. Right. And they did their production.
Speaking of that, and 50 Cent, I'm going to come back in like 1 second. I ran by my station break. Gosh, you all were so fascinating. I wasn't paying attention to it. But again, this is Chop It Up with Attorney Linda Bernard, also Police Commissioner for the City of Detroit. Linda Bernard, it's a pleasure having you today. I was at the run walk for the DMC and the DPD, Detroit Police Department, earlier. That's why I look like this and you guys look so sharp. But I could not be here for the two of you. Okay, so we're again, you're on WJZZ, Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. So you can plug into us on YouTube and Twitch, Twitter, everything. I guess every social media platform. So, you know, come on, plug on in. All right, let's go back to films and the community, of course, knows about Black Mafia Family.
Right.
And you were saying that it was filmed here, not filmed here, I'm sorry, there were shots here, then they took it to Atlanta because of the difficulty in doing things in Detroit, and you want to address that problem, and I agree with that. But I wanted to know what you thought about the acting.
The acting, I like Big Me's son. He did real good, and of course Wood Harris. I like everything that he does.
Everything he does.
He's a beast.
So these are really talented guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big Me's son. This is his first time.
Is his real son?
Yeah, his real son. And he carries
like Ice Cube's son.
The voice that he using for his character, he's putting authority into it. It's starting off slow because you know the first 2 episodes, they building
They
up the
build it.
characters
That's
and
the
the dialogue
storyline.
and
yeah.
such. But I think it's gonna be a good series. Anything 50 touch right now is actually.
Oh, yeah, it's platinum.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's
platinum.
not
The
gold,
writers,
it's
the
platinum.
writers on this. They wrote for Power. They are very
Power
very
was
skilled.
exceptional.
They're skilled in how they write and how they tell a story, and
Oh,
they
my
put time into it. So they build on their character. So,
But I
so
miss Tommy.
Rodney Huggins,
And I miss Ghost. I'm telling you right now. And even though I've watched the subsidiary series, you know, with his son and everything, and now of course with Kane, and now that I'm watching that, it's starting to get me finally, but it shouldn't have taken that long. It's not as tight as the original, of course, was, as Power was.
It's hard to beat the original with everything.
Ooh, but the second one
that's
was,
what you
was
compare
good.
it to. That's what happens when you do trilogies and stuff like that. You compare them.
But Candyman was good. Candyman, I know y'all like horrors, but Candyman, this last one, it was
I've
good.
heard it's good.
It was good. Because like I don't know, they had so many sequels in between the latest one and from the
What is
first one.
Candyman?
It's a horror.
Candyman, don't say it in the mirror.
That's what they say. Don't say that.
Yeah, you say what's it? Is it
It's-
3 times or 5 times you say it in the mirror? He supposed to pop up. Candyman, he got a hook on his hand. Check it out.
He's 50 Cent's character.
No, Candyman. This is something totally different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but I agree with you about 50 and the opportunities for both of you in terms of filmmaking and television are just exponential right now.
There's so many different things. Like I just wrapped a film about a boxer, and he's a local boxer. His name is Tony Harrison, it was loosely based on his life, but the movie is called Made for This. And so with that, we're looking for different ways to get the distribution out there, because the film is well made and it has a lot of local new actors that are coming out. Like what Atlanta did, Tyler Perry made people.
Oh, there's no question.
So
Candace,
you got people here
having the
making
have-nots
people.
and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, he has
there's
totally
filmmakers here
made
that are
people.
making names. I can name them all, but I just want to see us get to that level. Detroit is already there. Our talent left, and we want people to come back. But there's a lot of talent that's already here that never left, and they're making themselves, making a name for themselves, and we're going to start seeing them. And we got our own local celebrity branch that's going on here. So
that's wonderful. I mean, it's fascinating. So shots, I gotta look forward to seeing the two of you are and I like that name. And I like the guy. I like the person you said named Monk, and a lady by the name of Jay Fear.
Yeah, she played Kiki.
He's a cool. I already like it. It has that edge. It just is working for me. That's all I can tell you.
Yes.
So
he put a lot of work into it. He said he's been working. How long you been?
I've been writing this because I finished a film that I did a while back in 2016 called Free Cable. It's a comedy. It's on Amazon Prime.
Free Cable, FREE.
Yes.
Cable, CABLE.
Yes.
On Amazon Prime. Okay, I got that already. I'm an Amazon Prime member.
So after in the middle of doing that, when we got to the end of production, I started writing a series. So it's been like 4 years of me writing a series. And everybody say, I'm writing a series. Like my brother, he always say like, man, just don't talk about it till you do it. I was like, man, I can't help but to talk about it, because it's like when you do the stuff that I do with multimedia, it doesn't come right out. Like if you do a song or a music with somebody, you could put that out in a week or two. When you're doing production, you got to go to pre-production, then production, then post-production, then after that, after you do all the post-production, you edit it, everything is done in there. Then you got to go and go to the film festivals. They're like, the Animal Instinct's been in the film festival since the beginning of the year, and we probably go all the way to like November before we can actually start moving further with the project. And that's the same thing with Free Cable. Free Cable, it took 6 to 8 months from beginning to end to do it, and then it stayed in film festivals for almost a year. Free Cable is about two cousins selling bootleg cable for a guy that's called Dread, paid by Cool Bubba Ice. He's a comedian out of Jersey, so he's like the villain in it. But it's comedy. It's I say it's like a smoker film, like a Cheech and Chun type film. But it was my first film, so it was a lot of fun to do. We had so much fun. The cast is talented. Sandra Kay, she plays the mother. One of the actors. Dennis Brooks, he also helped me with the film. He's like co-producer.
So you write the entire script?
No, I wrote a nice good portion of it because I'm a writer too. But my cousin, he also wrote and he put some parts into it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you write both for the male and the female character.
Right.
For the whole movie, yeah. When you're
making the movie.
When you're writing though, it's like getting in the character because I study film. I watch every series, like the good series, like Sopranos. I done watched that probably over a dozen times. The
What
Wire,
impressed
I
you
watched
about
it
it?
over. Just the acting.
Yeah, it was good.
I can't pronounce his last name. The dude, James, he passed away.
Yeah, the big fella.
Yeah, he's a good actor. And he's good in a whole lot of movies.
Yes, he
I
is.
study film. I study Spike Lee. I study
Who do you think
John
was Spike?
Singleton. I like the John Singleton. He was
I've met him
good.
before.
F. Gary Gray.
Antoine Fuqua.
It's so many that's out there. I even like the Idris. How you pronounce his name?
Idris Elba.
Oh, Idris Elba.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
so
he
he
gonna
an
forever
actor.
be Stringer Bell to me. I
Yeah,
don't care what
Stringer
nobody
Bell.
says. He will
Everybody listen to
forever be Stringer
but
Bell.
Stringer Bell. he writes and directs and stuff too. So I didn't check out some of his projects. I just like study Quentin Tarantino.
Oh,
He
I
Little
love
Wall.
Quentin Tarantino.
But I like
He's
the way
the
he
only
shoot.
white man that uses the N word that I can accept it from. I mean, in terms of his films, all of his films use it, and nobody says it better than Samuel L. Jackson. I like Brainflay, who's always in his films. I mean, they do a great job together.
And that's what I'm trying to do with my films. Like Spike Lee, he brung his cast. If you watch from School Days on in, he keeps certain casts around, and that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, and so does Tyler Perry.
Right.
He recycles his people through different projects.
That's how you should do it, you know.
I think if it's not broke, why fix it? If you got a
Right.
good, you still have to. Certain people just
Right,
can play
good
certain
magic,
roles. You
right.
can outsource those guys, but I keep my core talent around me.
That
So
makes
when I blow, they all blow with me, and that's
I
what
heard
it
that.
is.
I heard
But
that.
there's something to say about expanding your territory, though. You got to expand your territory because I view it like a wheel. There's a wheel that's going, and you're on a stationary bike, and it's running and it's going. It's just fine. But if you take it off that stationary bike, it can just go further and expand your territory. And when you expand your territory, you expand your money.
That's correct, and you expand your creativity.
The
That's the
footprint
point.
is bigger all in general.
Yeah,
I mean,
it just
we,
gets bigger.
we live in a
and
global
bigger
economy.
And bigger and bigger.
We live in a global economy, you know what I mean? And so
Right.
that and where we sit right in Detroit, Michigan. Our back door, our neighbor, who we look in the backyard is Canada.
Right.
We live in a global economy,
walk
so it makes no sense for
across
us
the bridge.
not to think about global things because of what we grew up just seeing right here with the big three, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of filmmakers, you know, his last name is Daniels, the guy who did
Lee Daniels.
Empire and so forth, and that's his
Lee
name, the
Daniels.
filmmaker. He's a black guy. He did, and that was tremendously successful. And now he has a new show out. It's every Monday night, same time that Empire used to be on, and he again is looking at. In that instance, he was looking at black people in the music business who were successable.
Right.
In this instance, he's looking at black people who are successful in business, and they're all up at Cape Cod. They're all on Martha's Vineyard, where the President Obama just bought a house, and that's significant because that crowd is a very elite, super bougie crowd.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And you know, everybody goes towards the end of August. All my friends go 2 weeks, end of August, or at least 1 week. It's so expensive to just rent a place up there during that time. But I mean, you have to check out his new work. It's different than the work with Empire, but he has a humongous budget. What's his first name? His last name is Daniels.
It's Lee Daniels.
Oh,
yeah.
Lee.
Yeah,
Lee
it
is
goes
his-
with
I was gonna say-
expanding your footprint because
Right. I mean,
he's got
it's an
Oprah
amazing-
behind him, and he's got
He's amazing.
You got Oprah behind you. It's,
Yeah. He's kind of rolling. He's a big dog, right? Because he's rolling with a bigger dog.
right.
Right.
That
No,
means a
but you
lot.
have to check it out. I mean, it's a new show on in Fox.
There's quite
It's
a
on
few.
Fox, right, at 9:00 every Monday, and you have to check it out, see how you like it, if you like the acting and so forth. But he's good. His characters were so real though in Empire. You know, Cookie. And so forth and everything. It was, you know, it was just Lucius.
And there's other levels of filmmaking too. Like there's some levels of filmmaking, like the film I'm working on, it deals with mental health, and there's other levels where these films can be used for as teaching tools. You know, even my first film that I made when I was in film school that dealt with, you know, college fraternities and so on and so forth. It could be used as a teaching tool that goes to Title IX and et cetera. So there's so many levels that we can actually aspire to touch. Even, you know, different things of the historical value, things that are not just historical to us as African Americans, but even in our area. You know, there's a lot of people other than people that are from Detroit that don't know about Chaldeans.
Right.
And we know all about them. You know, when everything was going on with Chaldeans, the rest of the world's like, what did that got to do with anything? But people from Detroit know exactly. Right. And a lot of them have films that they're making, and there's some people that I know, they're pulling us in on their films.
That's fantastic.
And that means a lot, because when you expand your circle.
Because they have resources too.
When you expand your resources, you expand the entire footprint for everybody.
You're right. Right now, we got to take a station break. Okay. You are watching and listen. Well, first of all, you're watching Chop It Up with attorney Linda Bernard. You may be just listening to it as well. My guests today are Mr. Herb Bellamy and, of course, Tish. Your last name?
I'm sorry. Letitia McIntosh, but everybody calls me Tish McIntosh. Yes.
Tish McIntosh. Filmmakers and
I'm
artists.
an IT person too. I wish I had that Mac money, but I'm gonna have it in a different way.
Okay. Again, you can watch us on Facebook or Twitch or Twitter or YouTube. I welcome you to tune in anytime. This is a live show, but we do record it, so you can watch it later if you like. You're watching it on Wjzz Cool Tv, the coolest station in the world and a nation. Okay. Having said that, Herb, when we were first chatting, you talked a little bit about your experience managing acts on the road. An act by the name of DOA, Dedication Over Anything, and an act by the name of OTW, Out the
Way.
Out the Way. Okay. Tell me about that.
Records.
These are both recording
artists,
rap groups,
rappers. They telling a group of people. They're two different DOAs. A group that I road manage and co-manage. It's my son and a couple of his friends and my brother. Because we started back in the day. We started a rap label. It was Street Dreaming Entertainment. And then after getting older, you don't want to be the old guy being a rapper. and then I had the youngins coming up. My son, he's been in the studio. He's been in the studio since 2 years old. I had him young, so he was in the studio every time I was in the studio. He was in the studio. Then when he turned 13, he wanted the studio for Christmas, and that's what he got. And then he took off, and he's been doing his thing. He's been going different places, Chicago, doing shows in Dallas and such. They're starting to move around. They got the video, Ha Ha Davis and Jay Will. It's called Kappa. He got a bunch of different songs. They've been doing a bunch of different stuff, and they're doing shows and stuff. They're starting to make their bones.
So you're doing any film work with them?
They're gonna do features because they got a bunch of stuff coming up
or
in the
tissue
future.
Do it, I guess.
So you can check them out on DOA Music Group on YouTube, and Out the Way Records is a label just starting by a friend of mine, and he's also playing the villain Deuce and Shots. So I got a couple guys from all the groups and stuff are actually doing cameos and appearing. Some of them got big roles, some of them got small roles and shots. But telling a group of people, Janae, the girl that I was telling you, that's like maybe the next Lauryn Hill, she's affiliated with OT Dub, and she's probably, you're gonna be hearing about her real soon because she's
I look forward to seeing her. Let me know. I'll come see her. I'll come see her. That's not a problem.
Okay.
And Tish has the opportunity to feature acts right here at the studio. There's the backyard, and it works real well. I mean, I've seen Thornetta Davis out there and other really big name groups here. It's amazing. So you can always do a showcase here.
Okay, I'll talk to them. They
she knows. Seriously.
I mean that would work through WJZZ because that's what they have. They have so many levels and so many arms that they're going into
in entertainment.
In entertainment, you know, and so live streaming music.
Yeah,
see, I'm the back end of it. I'm the you're gonna see me behind.
You're the most important part. Without that back end, there's no front end that anybody would ever know about.
I work with a lot of people in the music industry. As far as Detroit, I've been part of shows with PZ. I have Vazo in the movie in the Free Cable. He's actually in there. I have him on the soundtrack. There's a few people I reached out and talked to, and just like far as artists in the industry, I got cousins that's promoters in Columbus, Ohio, and they right now tonight they got a show with Tony. So,
they're wonderful. I saw them when they were in Detroit. On My Mother and My Father. That is one of the top 3 groups I've ever seen in my life. I'm not making this up. They're actually better than like the Whispers and everything. I'm not making their energy, what they bring to the show. It's almost like a 2-hour show, and it's excellent. I mean, excellent. They don't take your attention for granted. They're dressed. They're together. They're not lazy. They're all fit like you. They can do the show. I mean, you know, they're not stumbling, you know, or anything like that. I mean, it is truly one of the 3 best groups I've ever seen, and I've seen groups all over the world. And I would go back to see them every night if I could. That's how impressed I was. They're out of Oakland. Oh, wow. They're out of Oakland, California. And they're smart. Their whole roster of hits are amazing. So if he's there with them, he's opening for them tonight, or no? No, this is something separate. My cousin, he's in Ohio right now doing this show. I thought you were saying with Tony. Yeah, with Tony tonight. Tell him if he can make any video for you of it. It's amazing. I was supposed to come and shoot. They got standing ovation after standing ovation. Yeah, he was supposed
to be there. I wanted to go too.
I offered her a chance to go shoot. We could still go. It's later on the night.
There's no question. We'll have a talk with you later. Listen.
No. You actually can go. Because it's only like 2.5 hours away.
But I went to school. I got to represent. I went to Central State University. I graduated. I have a bachelor's in computer information systems. But go Marauders, forgot for Central State.
Just go.
Forgot for Central State. So I know all about Ohio.
I want to dress a little bit. Tony, I might have to adapt her up a little bit.
No, you don't have to know.
I think they'll got to get on. First of all, that's our generation. That's how we used to dress. So that's we still dressing like that. Adidas.
You're well dressed. Trust me. You should go. Seriously. I mean, it's so easy to just get a hotel room and just drive on over and come back tomorrow morning. You're gonna spend the night. You're not gonna come back. So just stay.
Yeah, some things are historic, and some things like them getting back together. This
is
historic.
To see this show.
It's not a small feat.
I am not exaggerating.
It's not a small feat. With them getting back together.
I am not exaggerating. Unbelievable. It's an unbelievably good show. Tight. That's the best part. It's not lazy. They're not taking advantage. They're not standing around drinking water.
And they're true artists. They're
not featuring. No, they are super professional. They take it to a new level. That's all I can tell you. So if you get a chance, go on over to Columbus. As a matter, I'm talking myself into it right now. You have to tell me where they're going to be appearing. Let's talk a little bit about comic books. Now, comic books used to be super popular, back before the internet and all that stuff. And people used to read. They read the comics in the paper every Sunday. They read comics in the paper, and they bought comic books. And we have all these great characters from Marvel and everyone else. But you have created a company called HB Comics?
Yes.
And who are your characters? That's the first. That's what makes it.
Okay, well.
Do you have Wakanda?
Yeah.
Black Panther?
I got a few characters. Actually, I got about 800 characters now. I got 8 different books.
What are the?
One of them is Harry the Hatchet. I'll give you a brief story about Harry the Hatchet. He's a butcher. He's one of my. He kind of like my Joker in the HB comic universe.
Okay. Tell me about everybody else. Go ahead.
Menace. He's a military guy.
What's his name?
Menace.
In the old days, there was this character called Dennis the Menace. Remember?
Right. He got a special power. His power is like he got hurt in Vietnam, and
I like the name.
And then the one of the guys that was over Vietnam, like a agent, helped him with like a Buddha, like a priest. He like enhanced his melatonin. So he heals faster. He's stronger. Like he got enhanced melatonin in him. So that's something that's like, is this character, I made him up when I was like in 9th, 10th grade, and I've been rocking with him since then. I haven't changed him up. He's totally different from what I started out as. And I got a female character called Sync. She's an assassin, Sync, SYNC. I got, well, the second book will be done with her soon.
I like that name. You have up with the best names. It's amazing. I mean, Menace, Sync. I mean, no, once you hear it, you won't forget it. I mean, and it's something that, that is the brand. I mean, every character that you've told me about so far, you have created a brand. And that branding is where most of your money is.
Movie marketing. That's it. The marketing.
I created a whole universe. I got probably as much characters as Marvel or DC got.
Oh, wow.
And all he has to do is copyright, make sure he's got the copyright.
That's
and all that
correct.
stuff. Like
especially those names.
Yeah, all those names all copyright. I would say, like I got,
like
I said, I got 800 characters.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to say it on the air.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of other people doing other
But
creative
this is
products.
an example of what I'm saying about the talent that we have here.
There's
There's
no
so
question.
many people that are here that have this kind of talent, and they may not have an outlet and a tool to be able to use it. And so those are the things that we're working on to make sure that people can hone into their skill set and be able to see the things they can do, that there's more than just standing out here rapping with some girls flapping their butt on the video, that these girls don't have to flap their butt on the video, but they actually can get out here and use their creativity, because they, there's different things that they can do just as unique and creative as everyone else is doing in the world. They just need to see it.
Have either of you ever thought about doing a symposium or teaching a class within the Detroit Public School systems as an adjunct? That doesn't mean you don't have to have a teaching certificate. Like I can go and teach somewhere as an adjunct professor or as an adjunct teacher, because I have a special skill and ability. I can do that, and I don't have to have a teaching certificate. But it sounds to me like both of you have your finger on the pulse of sort of new beginnings and the community today. And you need disciples. You need students who you can work with and teach some of this stuff to, and help them, because Jesse Jackson has an expression, and I'm going to talk to you about this in a minute. He says all the time, he said, if you want money to grow, you got to put money in money mud. Money doesn't just grow because it says here, you got to put it in money mud. You got to put it in something that grows money.
Right.
So and what you can do is, with young minds, people that maybe have ideas, who can help you develop these ideas and so forth. In terms of our community, because you're right, the talent is there, but they don't know about you. And they would love to probably work with you in a disciplined setting, like a real classroom, or where there's real equipment, because there's a film division now in DPD. Not DPD. It's one in DPD too. We know about that, but facial recognition. But I'm just, but I'm talking in the Detroit TPS. Pardon me. In the DPS, they have studios and all this. But to me, you guys would be fresh air.
And that what you're saying is that's an area that I've had friends that are school teachers. They're winning awards. Actually, one of my good friends, her sister just got an award for being like for being one of the Michigan renowned school teachers. And they are working with these kids, and what we want to do is have the outlet. See, they need to have the money.
They have the money.
They need to have the money as in general to be able to get it to where it needs to get to, the distribution, that 50 Cent money, that that Lee Daniels money. We need people like Magic Johnson, who is from Michigan, to come back in here and put his footprint out here, so that then once they get through school, because you're mentioning schools, and I agree, but there's also people who are out of school that could benefit from that. Their talent is just being wasted. I want them to be able to see, what I mean, that they can put their tools, their skills together.
Magic's still involved in the housing project that's right behind us, right behind us mall. I mean, right over here at Woodward and 8 Mile. He's involved in that project. And so is a gentleman by the name of Marvin Beatty, who's executive vice president of Greektown Casino. If you know him, I know him. I can certainly introduce you to him.
Yes, make the connection. I mean,
let's do a sit down, because right now I think like it's an artist that I'm working with. He's a supporter of my
campaign, actually. He's on my literature.
I'm working with this artist. He's talented. He can act, but it's off of East Warren, so you got to try to get kids that's in the hood, in the ghettos and stuff, that you sometimes you could be so caught up in what's around you that you can't see past
Right,
what's
past April.
And
right.
I challenge it not just the hood and the ghetto. I think just kids in general at all levels. You know, there's some that are that you know they just don't have the motivation to know where they can go with their talent.
But see, that's why I'll talk to whoever you want me to talk to get you guys in the school so that you can talk to kids and or use them and use the facilities of the school to help build what it is you're trying to do. Yeah, I'm sure there are other kids that can really draw or that have ideas, and they've never met a person like you. They've only seen Marvel. You know, what's his name? The guy that just died, the man.
Stanley.
Yeah, him. You know, that's all they know about. They don't know that there are people that do what you do.
So my background is in training. I train professionals. I train, you know, that's what my whole so that was I actually have a whole plan that I had put together. I actually had my own business when I lived in Atlanta where I was a training company, and that was one of the things I said when I come back to the end of my career, which I'm getting close to retirement, that I would actually put together a training cycle that let people teach each other. And that's kind of what we already have grown to in this world. People teach each other through YouTube and et cetera. And to be able to get all these generations to work with each other, the young level and that level.
I think DPS should retain you as consultants and have you come into the school. I'm not fooling around with
I've been more than open to that.
Yeah, I think even if it was just one day a week or something, I think that they need to retain you and pay you to come in and plant those seeds and what Jesse calls money mud, which is the mind. Because no one can do it better than you can. And I want to come back to that in just 1 minute. Again, you're watching Chop It Up with Attorney Linda Bernard, also Police Commissioner Linda Bernard for DPD's finest, and you are watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the nation. Please tune in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, everything that I don't know how to work. Please feel free to do it.
So I have a unique
my guests today are Miss Tish McIntosh, who is a filmmaker and a movie maker, and Mr. Herb Bellamy, who is writes cartoons. Not writes, I mean he makes them. He makes the cartoons. He writes comic books. He's involved in music and films, and also a new series that he and Tish are collaborating on called Shots, which I can't wait to see. So, okay, you were going to say something.
I have a question because this is a unique one, and this is one that speaks to our industry, and I apologize, her, but, you know, being a woman navigating in male industry, a male-dominated industry, and police is a male-dominated industry. I came from IT as a male-dominated industry, and film is a male-dominated industry, although there's a lot of, you know, headway that's been made. But how did you navigate, you know, your career? Because that's something that I find interesting, and I draw conclusions and parallels when I hear about other people and how they met. You know, I'm pretty sure it's been tough because you made your way to. I mean, how many female police commissioners have there been, and are there?
Well, I'm the only lawyer on our board. There have been other commissioners, but as you spoke, commissioners are usually male. And most of the board is male. We have two other ladies on the board, but they're getting ready to be replaced by, well, one of them is getting ready to be replaced by another male. So, which is fine with me. Gender is not significant to me, and it bothers me when women play the girl card. I'm the victim card. Oh, you put your hand on my shoulder and I'm traumatized. I mean, it kills me that even in the R. Kelly case, I mean, that's such a crap. Celebrity is an aphrodisiac. There's not a girl I know who, if they thought they could get to 50 Cent, for example, right now, who wouldn't be there. Because they all have this thing in their mind, or Bill Cosby when he was younger and stuff. They always have this in their mind. I can be the one. I can even take him from his wife. I have enough, game. This is a psychosis. And the same thing is true for athletes, as you know. So I don't play that game. I never have. I've always used my mind. And, being attractive helps, as you know. It helps you. Both of you are very attractive people. So, I'm aware of that, and I emphasize that, but I don't play that. I don't play that game. And you negotiate it, and you move through it by demonstrating your excellence
and your strength. So that's why I was just telling somebody a story about similar. Like I was kind of challenged that I would believe I wouldn't have been challenged by an actor. In that he, I told him, could you please provide, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, so who are you? What's your name? and how long have you been doing this? And I said, listen. And then I went through, and I was like, because I'm an adult, I'm a businesswoman, so I knew how to handle that situation. And that's what I want people to see, that, you don't have to be put in your place just because somebody, wants to put you there.
Oh, you don't let it happen.
You don't, and then and you also don't limit yourself just because somebody's like, like, this is where we want to put you and this is where you're going to be. You just go through, you follow your own
break
dreams.
Those chains.
And that's why I wondered about you, because you had to, obviously, in order to become a police commissioner, even to decide to be a police commissioner, you had to know.
No, just to decide to be a lawyer. I'm licensed in 4 states: Michigan, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, D.C., U.S. Supreme Court, U.S. International Court of Trade, U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, Federal District Court here in Michigan, and Pennsylvania.
Look who we sitting with.
And I've argued and won 3 cases in the Michigan Supreme Court. I have a master's in law from the University of Pennsylvania Law School. They're first African American. So
we should be doing a movie about you.
Actually, somebody's getting ready to do it. I just met with somebody about it.
They optioned to write
your.
Did you option to write your story?
Did you?
First of all, did they option to write your story? Because if they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
No,
but
make a proposition. It's just going to be a thing. I'll let you. You guys have to come. I mean, we had a meeting about it this week at Fleming's out in Bloomfield Hills. So yeah, this is just a couple of lawyers that he thinks are legendary. That's all. It's just a legendary lawyer. That's not fun. Not the good stuff. Like if he was in the movie, I have to show you these pictures I took of these guys today, and while they were running with no shirt, I was about to pass out. It was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, I said, God bless the fact that I have eyesight. But back to comics. But I'm intrigued by your characters, Menace and Sink and Harry the Hatchet. And that's really good. Everything is
That's
really
a fascinating story. I actually touched base with Val Kilmer because I was like, I wanted him to play it, but
he would be good.
And we talked back and forth a little bit, but Val, he got some health issues right now, so
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that.
I want my audience to understand who they're watching today. They are watching the next Spike Lee, and what's the guy that made Marvel?
Stan Lee.
And Stan Lee.
Right.
And the next Ava DuVernay,
and
no Regina King, and all of them.
I like Ava's work, but I'm not overwhelmed by it. But I mean, that's just a personal thing. It's a little slow for me. She doesn't move her stories enough for me. 50 Cent moves it quicker.
Because he lives quick.
Yeah, and that's important to me. But I like her. I mean, I certainly respect her greatly. But it takes too long to get from point A to point B. An interesting series though. Now I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see this. A story called Shy by Lena Waithe, another another African American woman.
I love Shy.
Yeah, it's good. It's tight.
That's how I like, cause how they get the scripted. That's how, like, with shots. I mean, I've been watching all these series while I've been writing for the last 4 years, so I done watched everything. So when I look at the shot, they get more in depth with the characters' home situations and they outside their life. I mean, and then they got their own thing going on top of that. So it's it's like you said, it's tight.
The character development is really
that's exactly what it's called. And
Lena
Waithe has been in it herself as a preacher. I saw her and stuff in it. She's amazing. She's strong. Really,
she's very strong.
See where she at.
No, she was a preacher. She went. It was last year. She came. She was a guest preacher in it. You can Google her credits, I'm sure, and it'll come up to see her, the part that she was in. But she was in it herself. And now she's in. She was just in a series I watched called The L Word. It's a lesbian. It's really good though. It's a high quality production. It's an expensive production. You can tell.
You can tell they have money behind
it. Oh yeah, there's real money behind this series. And she appeared in that too. She was good. It was these cameo sort of things where she's just in one episode. Yeah. But it's a good show. But
there's so much talent out here.
Oh my gosh, isn't it wonderful? And we have so many options, and now we've got to cultivate the two of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are creative, and if you are a positive person, we don't want any negative energy. You need to contact Herb Bellamy, or if you need your characters brought to life, contact Herb Bellamy. He can draw it, sketch it, all that kind of stuff. Make it into whatever it is you want. And if you want to make a film, a high quality film, you need to call Tish McIntosh. I need you to give everyone you guys telephone numbers real quick. We only got a few minutes.
Herb Bellamy. You can reach me at HB Comments at Instagram, or Herb Bellamy Mr. 100 on Facebook. And you can email me at herbbellamy17@gmail.com.
Okay.
And mine's is, you can reach me at d44productions@gmail.com. And then mostly the phone number that you can reach me is 313-444-0060. And my goal is to be able to help people make their movies. I'm the money that walks in the room. And so when I come in the room, my goal is for you to be able to get your movie made and distribute it so that you can, tell your story and also get paid for your story.
So you're the money mud. I got you.
I'm the money mud.
You're the money mud. You got to put it in the money. People
I will
understand
be the money that walks in the room
and know how to make money.
Yep,
That's what it takes.
The money that walks in
And
the
I
room.
wanted to get to that because I know you're really good at it, but we're out of time right now. Thank you for
having
watching
us.
today.
Thank you.
Chop It Up with attorney Linda Bernard, and for watching this with Herb Bellamy, who is the comedian, not a comedian, but the comic writer of the decade, I think, right now. And of course, Tish
his time.
McIntosh,
It's
the
his
filmmaker of this decade.